Hey guys, I'm in my salon. Nobody else is here, so I thought this would be the perfect time to do a really short tutorial on how to cut your own facial framing. This isn't a video on how to cut like the length of your hair, overall layers. Truly, it's just a really quick video on how to go about doing the layers around your face. It has been a while since I've done anything to my hair. My layers are facial framing super long. You can see the grow out, so I'm used to it being maybe like in this area. It's just getting too long to where, like, you know, if I have my hair pulled back and I want to have a cute little few pieces, it's like, yeah, that's too long to do anything. I never have my hair parted down the center. My forehead's a little too big for that. I need a little bit of a swoop. So I do have it close to center. It's just a little off to the side. And I also I'm not like always part the hair on this side. Sometimes I go either side. So to start, what we're gonna do is, you have all this hair, and a lot of times what I see people do is they're bringing all of this forward to incorporate their layers. Well, what happens when this falls back, if you cut all of this short, you know, to blend in with your layers, this is gonna be some of the shortest pieces where it's longer back here. What you want to do is maintain your length, but also the length in the front too. When I was in beauty school, so bad. There was a girl, her hair was literally down to her butt. It was all one length, and she wanted to add some layers. They literally took her hair and parted it here, cut. Bring this forward, cut. Bring this forward, cut. Bring this forward, cut. So she gradually cutting it all the way down to the length of her hair. Well, what happened was all of this stuff ended up being literally to here, and then it blended down to the length, but all of that length fell at like the back of her head. So when her hair was just, you know, like this, her shortest piece, like her front pieces were literally short. So you never want to do facial framing on yourself or a client by pulling all of the hair from the back. So what I do is find where they part their hair and then just go to the top of the head, down to the side, essentially right at the ear. And then find the same side here. Right to the top of the ear. So what that's gonna do is you're going to make sure that here's the longest part of your hair. You're gonna maintain length instead of, you know, imagine if we just cut all this to blend. This could be super short to blend in with the length back here. So we're gonna throw all of this to the back. We're not gonna touch that. So what we're gonna do is, this is how I like to do my hair, okay? This is how I do my clients. You don't have to follow this. Some people like to take a section from way back here and go all like this. I don't like doing that. So what I'm gonna do is take this little section, just this little piece right here, and also here. So this is our first section. I'm just like debating on if I want to keep all of this as my shortest facial frame. You guys are gonna see me deliberate for like 10 minutes. Yeah, we're gonna do it. Yeah, we're gonna do it. Okay. One thing about the comb that you use. See how on this comb you have wider tooth and finer tooth? What you don't want to do is have a comb and you're going like this. Because you're gonna get uneven tension when you're combing through your facial framing, and then when you're combing your hair down, say you're going like this is gonna be a lot tighter, and then this is gonna be less, because it doesn't have the same grab on the hair. So make sure you either use this side or this side, but don't go straight in the middle. My comb has even width all the way. Okay, so I want my shortest piece probably really, maybe like right in here. I think that's kind of where I want it. So we're gonna start here. You don't wanna cut right where you're wanting the length to be, because you're gonna go in and texturize and point cut and do all of this stuff, and that's gonna make it shorter. So you always wanna cut a little bit longer than where you want it to actually fall. Don't go in like this. I'm gonna go in like this. Just be cautious that you're not cutting this part of your hands. Okay, so you can see that the length is generally the same, but it's not a drastic straight across cut. To give it even more of a blend, so it's a little bit softer and not just such like a, you know, a blunt line, what we're gonna do is take it and comb it straight up. And we're just going to point cut into these longest pieces. So you can see that softened it a little bit. It's not just like a harsh chop of a line. Okay, next section. We're really just coming right behind that section and just grabbing this hair. Make sure it's an even section. I'm gonna pull this back. All right, so you're gonna grab the hair and comb it at an angle and pull it this way. Those shortest pieces are right there, and that's where we're gonna have as our guide. And I'm not doing a cut. I'm doing more like this and sliding down. So you can see there that all of that blends. There's our facial framing. Okay, so now that we're on this side, what we're going to do is, you kind of have to work backwards, but you're just gonna take your hand right here, find where that length starts popping out, and just start slide cutting. You can kind of see where there's like some inconsistent long pieces. So we're going to just okay, now we're just gonna start incorporating the rest of this because all we're gonna do is slide cut down to blend the rest of it. Remember, we're not grabbing this hair from back here. So from the same angle, and then I'm going to just slide cut down. So that angle is looking pretty good. And then let's do this side. Remember, you kind of have to go upside backwards. Okay, so now we have our facial framing. I remember we did go a little bit heavier in this area. I do want to go a little bit shorter, so I think I'm going to just take these little pieces right here. Not a whole bunch, but we're just going to, like right there. Snip. Now to blend those pieces, all we're gonna do, there, can you see? There's our shortest piece to our longest piece, and we're just going to go just very lightly cut into it. That way we're not having to redo the whole thing, we're just blending that little part. Yeah, I'm liking where that lays a little bit more. Now, if you have any texturizing shears that look like this, you just want to take your little section to blend. And all you're gonna do is just make sure you have these and just point cut. If you like to wear swoop bang, then all you have to do is come in here and this will help it like swoop a little bit easier. And then to blend this so it's not so choppy, all you gotta do is come in here and just don't ever come in and just go like this. Always point cut, or else you're gonna get lines in the hair. And there you go. Now you have your blended facial framing. Okay, really quick. I know I mentioned that I usually part my hair more on this side for it to go over. And if I part my hair like that, then what's gonna happen is, look, all the layering's like falling on this side. And even though I don't necessarily go that far over, let's see here. Okay, say I just parted my hair like right there, and my hair went on this side, I have nothing anymore on this side. So what I'm gonna do is I am gonna go a little bit shorter over here so that way my layers blend and I don't just fall heavy on one side. If you go to get your hair cut by a hairstylist and you always feel like your layers are uneven or they're shorter on one side than the other, it's because they're doing your facial framing with your part down the center. If you always part your hair on the side, tell them to cut your hair with the part on the side because you're gonna end up being heavier when you swoop your hair back over the way that you normally part it. So I'm just gonna come in here and I'm gonna go a little bit higher. I'm gonna come in like right in here and I'm just going to start slide cutting. It's not really taking any more off this, it's just kind of blending this area. So you can see as I'm doing that, like it's kind of balancing out a little bit more. It doesn't have to match up perfectly, but I just want it to look like, you know, I have a little bit more coming up here than everything just, you know, falling there or having it here and, you know. So we're just still gonna go a little bit more. There we go. So you can see that has a little bit more balance now. Everything's not just like super heavy on this side and then nothing on the rest. Yeah, so just a teeny bit, not a whole bunch, just enough to where it goes on the side, you feel even. Another thing, can we talk about this, ladies, please? Ladies and gents. I know my demographic is a woman of a not quite mature age, but you know, we getting up there a little bit. We're in our 40s now. Please stop using kitchen scissors. Can we talk about that? Go to Sally's Amazon and just order yourself a pair of shears. And make sure, even better, if they come with a texturizer. You want it to be a fine tooth like that. There's some where it's like super wide, like it's, you know, chunky in between. You don't want that. That's not for you. This is something that you want to get on Amazon that comes with a nice hair cutting scissor. You know, we're not having to spend hundreds, just something that's not, you're not cutting chicken, okay? You're cutting bangs. You're cutting bangs, okay? We don't need chicken scissors for that. Spend the $10 or however much it is. It doesn't have to be perfect, but something that's going to give you a little bit better cut, more detail than chicken shears, chicken scissors. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Okay. There we go. By the way, I had somebody ask me why I always use a comb when I like blow dry my clients' hair. You'll see in my videos I use a comb. I never use a brush. And that reason is because a brush hurts my hand. It's usually a thinner handle? Nozzle? I was gonna say nozzle, handle. Even my combs that I have that I use are quite wide. I usually prefer using, like when I blow dry, I always use this size. I mean, this is wider, but it's still not quite as wide as what this is. I've been doing hair for about 20 plus years. And so my hands end up hurting really bad and getting really crampy. So for me to go through and like hold something like this, that's really, you know, and you're holding it and brushing and, you know, my hand gets really tight and crampy, where if I'm having this, I can hold this. I don't have to grab it like this. I can hold it a little bit, you know, like this a little bit more. So I'm not doing this motion. It's kind of holding it more like this, and I can, it's just my arm, my wrist isn't as tight. My grip isn't as tight. Brush, comb, I can hold it differently. So it just makes, it's just personal preference. It just helps my hand not cramp up, because my hand will be hurting for like 2 days, where sometimes, especially if I've had a lot of clients in a day, even now, like there's times where I feel like I can't, my hand just feels like it's in a stuck position. Like I barely can like move it. So that's the only reason why I use a comb. It's not like I don't know how to do a blowout. I actually will not do a blowout. I would have to like upcharge for it to be worth it, because my hand truly, like, it just cramps really bad and ends up hurting by the end of the day. So I no longer will do a blowout. Get a big barrel curling iron. Like, look at this bad boy. This thing's huge. It's like, is it 2 inches? 1.75, 2 inches. All you have to do is use something like this and curl the hair and set it, use good products, and you'll still get that blowout look, like the big volume waves. There's just lots of times where I see people that are like going through all of this work to do a blowout, and literally when they're done, the hair just falls flat, and then they just got a little whoosh at the ends. Like, I am not going through all that work just for it to look flat and not to look like there's anything done with the hair. Like, I can literally do that same exact thing with a curling iron. I feel like part of it is that people just want to feel like, oh my God, like I'm getting my hair like wound up into a tight curl, and like, it just looks cool. You know, the process of getting it done. I feel like some people just like the idea, like, look at me, I'm getting a blowout. And trust me, there are some blowouts that I see where I'm like, holy sh, that is amazing. I mean, that thing is like, you know, and hey, that is different. But like, half the time that I see, there's like maybe been a handful of people that I see that actually kill a really good blowout. The rest of them, it's just like mediocre, like, girl, you could do that with a curling iron. No hate, but like, that's just, I'm not going through all that work. So, sorry. I'm not going through all that work for my hand to be killing me for like 3 days. All right, let's check out these layers. I am just gonna flat iron my hair and kind of curl it in so you can see how the layers look. I don't want to do like a super cute curl style or whatever, because then you're gonna be like, what do the layers look like? So I'm just gonna like flat iron it and kind of have them go towards the face. Okay, so now my hair is done. And as we finish, you might come through and see some areas that need a little touching up, which is totally fine. Like, as of right now, I feel like this blends pretty good for the most part, but I feel like it's falling kind of heavy here and then not so much in this area. So I'm gonna go through, see where it kind of just gets long right there. So I'm just gonna grab my shears and come into these long pieces. We're just point cutting. And remember when I first had it cut to here, but then I went a little bit shorter? Because it was wet, I may not have blended it very well. So we're gonna go in here and blend this a little bit better. Now that it's dried, we can actually see. And I don't know if it's just because it's light dark, so it just stands out so much more, but I'm gonna texturize it a little bit. Okay, yeah, I feel like that blend looks good. Kind of feeling in here, I need a little bit more. See how it's short and then long? Yeah, that looks a lot better. I'm gonna go through with my texturizing shears again. Yeah, that looks good. All right, so I'm gonna put a little bit more of a wave into it so you can see what it looks like with having a little bit more of a curl. Yeah, I am definitely happy with the way that looks. And remember, we did go a little bit heavier in this area than normally. So I'm happy with it, because now if I want to pull my hair back and I just want a few cute little like pieces on my face, you know, I'll have these cute little things if I want to. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this helped. If you guys are going to be doing any facial framing on yourself, I hope this helps. I hope you learned something. Leave a comment in the comment section below if there's anything that like helped you guys. Possibly getting a pair of hair cutting shears instead of chicken shears, kitchen shears. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you like this video, and please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.